And we are back, Jets fans, the Underdog Jets podcast. No intro, no nothing. We got to get right to it because I'm telling you, my eyes are killing me from looking at the screen all day and writing and reading. It's just been nonstop, one thing after another with all the rumors and news. Of course, I'm referring to Robert Saleh shockingly getting fired today on this Tuesday, the 2 days after the London game, for which this man was there, number 80, and he absolutely has some thoughts on what happened today.
Yeah, honestly, it is a surprise. Sometimes people have an inkling, or you hear some anonymous tip that's happened, but no, surprise to a lot of people. If anybody should have went, I think it should have been Hackett. They should have left him in London. I think he's a big reason for why they're not scoring points. I know they gotta, take the plays and make them, but just the play calling and everything. If we needed a move to kind of like get things going, or it needed to be getting rid of him, not Coach Saleh after 5 games.
I'll say this. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Hackett has not gotten the job done. For those who follow me on Twitter, I put out a film review today about the first play in London. It's more of the same. The Jets getting off to horrendously terrible starts under the Saleh regime. I forgot what it is. Crazy stat. They've been outscored like 260.
Yeah,
But by 260 points in the first quarter. Was that it?
yeah. Since his so that is coaching. These
Yes.
guys
It's
aren't
game
coming out
planning.
ready to play. No, they're not ready to come out and play in the first quarter. To be down almost 300 points over the course of the, yeah, that's a big coaching thing. But like I said, after 5 games, we can get into it.
Yeah.
There's bigger problems than Coach Saleh was after 5 games.
Agreed. Now, well, first of all, from this standpoint, Woody talked today. I know how much you respect Woody. I do too. Owners always draw the ire of the fans. We know this.
Right.
But Woody spoke today. Ulbrich spoke today. Woody put it all on himself, as you'd think he'd do, no matter what happened, no matter who made the decision. At the end of the day, it's Woody's decision. But what do you say to the fans that sit there and think, man, it is tough to believe Woody made this move without Rodgers signing off on it?
You know what? They came out and said that Rodgers didn't know about that he was gonna get fired.
Yeah.
And I believe that.
Yeah.
At least if there was a talk about it. He's not a GM. He's not a coach. He's the quarterback. I know a lot involved how he plays, whether we're going to win or not, or win a Super Bowl or not. I understand that. We're kind of linked to him for as long as he's here, but he had no say in that. I feel like he might have a say in Hackett being gone.
That's why I brought him up, because I was thinking Hackett.
Yeah, it seems like the decision was already made for Hackett not to call the plays going forward, but Downing to start calling the plays, but no difference in title. So it looked like something was going to be made done. And as far as yesterday, Coach Saleh got up there, just what we're going to do going forward and game by game and all that stuff. So something was going to be done. I don't know what changed from Monday to this morning.
Hopefully I'm sharing the screen. You all could see it. Rivka wrote this report. And again, it's just a report, folks. We don't know what's true, what's not. We're discussing it. Robert Saleh planned to demote Hackett. Per report, CBS Sports' Jonathan Jones. With this one, listen, we don't know what's true. This has not been deemed to be true, but it's just a report. So, however it went down, I think the majority of Jets fans are in the corner that, hey, Saleh did not get the job done. And me personally, I think the biggest issue is the accountability with the penalties.
Yeah.
What Quincy said after the game. That's one. And number two, the game planning during the week. I firmly believe there is a place for physicality and team identity. And Saleh has preached many times in the past, hey, if we do what we do well and we put our guys in the best spots, it doesn't matter what other teams do. They can't beat us. That's his attitude.
All right.
But
this is what you do in the bye week. In the bye week,
yeah.
We're not there. You self-scout. You basically, offense looks at the defense and vice versa, and you're like, how easy would it be to stop them? What could we do? So if they sell Scout, I bet you the defense is like, this is all we have to do to stop the offense.
Yes.
There's no like,
There's no imagination.
no imagination.
There's no movement.
No nothing. I mean, Rodgers is, like I said, he's 40. Understand, he's one of the best. He has a lot. I see how he slides to the pocket, the throws he's made. There's a couple of weird ones, but if we're gonna make it, it's gonna be with him. Don't think someone else is coming in that way.
Listen, he didn't have a great game in London. He missed throws, but the only reason they came back in that game, not the only reason, but one of the main reasons is his talent helped them back. They said, okay, we got to ditch the run. We got to go empty and spread, something we didn't want to do because Flores blitzes the hell out of the quarterback.
Yeah.
And his talent got them back. I mean, he missed a lot of throws, no question about it. But I think the accountability, one, and number two, not game planning enough for the opponent during the week is the indictment that's why they get off to such terrible starts with Saleh. I think that's the big thing for me personally.
Another problem is she goes because we had the offsides that tells Aaron to not like do that hard count. And that's Aaron Rodgers, that's his thing, getting offsides and getting the defense on their heels. And they don't do a lot of motion, which doesn't help. And the reason is because every freaking play, I was at the game.
Yeah.
Play clock's at point half. That one. It's at one every time.
Every time.
There's nothing. You can't move nobody. You can't see if it's zone or man. And I hate it. I don't know. Even when they're trying to come back, down 10 or whatever it is. I mean, like, snap the ball at, I don't know, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. That's what pisses me off the most because it seems so rushed. He's picking up his foot, to get the snap. It's like, that bothers me the most about Aaron Rodgers. He plays it right to the last second and shit gets chaotic.
Here's the thing, and I think you could appreciate this. Well, number one, Rodgers, part of the reason there's no motion is because Rodgers likes it that way because he wants to scan the field. But the procedure with Hackett, getting it in late, that takes his legs out from under him, right?
Dude, you got to be able to. I mean, even if I was in the slot, I want to come in like, I don't know, 3 or 4 steps just to see if the guy over me goes with me or pushes me over. I want to know just from that. It'll take me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you would not want to see movement, to see if you move, that corner is going to blitz in the air and get smashed. You know what I mean? And then, the running back can't scan because everybody's moving around on defense and we're not moving around. I'm not saying it to Aaron. I'm just saying the scheme.
It has to change.
That they have is terrible.
It has to be modernized. I think the game plan has to be modernized and the offensive scheme has to be modernized. And I forgot to say this. This is what I think you'll appreciate. Rodgers, Hall of Fame talent. He believes he could fight through anything. Like he believes he could overcome anything, right? Even if it's Hackett, his buddy, calling plays, whoever it is. So it's up to the head coach and Hackett to say, no, Aaron, that's not the way it's going to go down. We're going to help you. And that's just not happening.
No, it shouldn't be like that. You can't just keep your friend, or, obviously he won MVP with Hackett, but you can't just keep him because you're comfortable with him, because he lets you do what you want. Get rid of the guy. He's terrible. And I never say that to other people. He is terrible. He shouldn't have came back. And he's one of the worst ones I've seen because it's stupid with all that talent. Brees can't get going. Braylon Allen's doing good. Garrett, they're not putting him in positions to succeed. Mm-hmm. Lazard, not sure what he's doing. Corley's not on the field. I mean, it's just the linemen should be doing better. I'm not saying there's no holes in the defense, but like this basic stuff for this offense, we should be scoring, making drives and scoring. We shouldn't get to the last drive like this.
It shouldn't be this hard.
This is crazy with the amount of talent we have on this. This is insane that we're talking about Saleh getting fired and not that guy.
I hear you. That is, personally, I wish it was both. And in the presser today, Ulbrich left the possibility open that someone else could be calling plays Sunday, maybe Downing, maybe someone else. Yeah, I don't know.
Listen, somebody else. But like this thing with Saleh, all right, maybe this motivates Ulbrich in there.
Right.
Very likable coach, fiery kind of coach, but he holds a clipboard. Coach Saleh, this is like in there with his arms folded. He's a motivator. gets guys going. But sometimes you can't be best friends. You can't. You're just not one of the guys. You can't, be running down and doing certain things while you'll never see that from Andy Reid or some of these guys. I know it's great to be excited and stuff like that, but I don't know.
They can't run the
Just
ball.
have enough responsibility, but maybe next week we're like, or 2 weeks from now we're like, wow, why didn't Woody do this sooner? And then
Hopefully,
yeah,
what I'm holding hope for is Ulbrich has a game planning eye to the modern version of the NFL,
right,
and in that route, they get off to better starts because it's more about the opponent as opposed to themselves. I heard Saleh after the game. He said their number one objective was to play clean ball, overcome penalties. And I get it. That's a big thing.
yeah,
But in today's league, it's not as important as years past. The Giants were first in turnover margin,
yeah.
plus minus last year. They were crap. It doesn't affect things the way it used to. It's more about out scheming your opponent. Like this is the first game in London, Wayne. Look at who Flores is. He's an aggressive defense. What does he do on first down? What do you think he's going to do? He's going to play the run. He's going to send guys.
Yeah.
So here's Harrison Smith, the safety on the edge. First play, you have it scripted, and you're going to run a power? Really? Even if the line blocked it well, there's too many numbers there. There's no way to get around it.
It's just, I don't talk about it anymore. Bad game planning, bad play. No, dude, this is pissing me off. I didn't like the guy 2 years ago. I didn't like the guy last year.
You were on it. You were
on
it from the start.
I never called for someone's job and this, then I could say, negative things and hope for the best, but it's ridiculous, man.
Listen, man, objective, fair criticism, everyone has that right. And you were on it from the start. You weren't over the top. You were fair about it.
I feel bad for not the whole offense, but school. They're not put in a situation to succeed as much as they should. It should be easier for them. It shouldn't be as hard as it is for them just to grind out a big play. Some of our best plays are on pass interference. We should be moving the ball down, extending drives. And I'm telling you, man, with this quarterback, Garrett, not moving the ball around, Conklin, these guys could all make plays. And the fact that they're not getting Brees going,
it's a killer.
Just feed him until he busts one, and he's going to go a long way. Just use your tools, man. Use your tools, man. It's just,
as a receiver, let me ask you this. And we won't stick to the scheme too much, but some of these, you see the opportunities there with Rodgers and the receivers. They're just a bit off.
Yeah.
Like this one. I think this is one of them where they were just a bit off. He threw it to the inside. Is this on Garrett to read the leverage? They only rushed 4 on that one. Interesting. What is it?
You got to cover 2 corner out here. Who's just reading Aaron Rodgers and the guy in the flat's covered. So actually, he's making it appear like Garrett's open. Like he doesn't want to cover him here. He wants to just kind of trail because it's a long throw. Yeah. Actually, if this was a catchable ball, it gets picked off.
Yes,
so,
and that's why he
might be a bad throw by Aaron. He put it where Garrett would have a chance.
But should Garrett have felt these two, the floater underneath and the overtop? I guess we'll call it a 2D. I don't think it might be cover 6, but if it's 6, this safety is really not ranging over quick enough.
You keep a high angle, but
should he split it more? That's the thing. Is he not feeling these
how
two?
He feels it should be run. I'm not going to question how he ran that. I don't know what he saw out there.
Okay, but the point is, we see these opportunities. They're right there. They're just inches off. That's, if they could fix that along with the rushing game, they'll be fine.
Yeah. You know what the crazy thing is? If we win Monday night, we are in first place, by ourselves.
Yeah.
That's Absolutely. How stupid. That's how stupid this is. We're complaining. We're 2-2. We're 2-3, which is what we were last year. We scored the same amount of points with Zach as we had with Aaron, 92 points.
Yep.
Same thing after 5 games. And people are like, well, maybe it wasn't that bad with Zach. Stop it. This is not the same situation. This is just timing being off, some injuries, but just basic, just fundamental, calling the right plays and just having a feel for. There's no feel for the game. It's like calling plays. Like, yeah, it might be a good play and practice with this and that, but is it a good play on 2nd and 8? Is this a good play on 3rd and 3? I mean, just I
And,
think
you
it's
know
in
what
his
the
future.
indictment is of that? You know what confirms that? They get off to terrible starts when they go through the scripted plays,
Yeah,
and then Roger starts taking over the play calling at the line of scrimmage.
yeah.
Down
Well,
points.
we don't definitely, as much as he knows and everything he's seen in his life, Aaron, he's seen everything. He's got to know that linebacker is going to slide over. And, like I said, in a panic to get the snap off, he's looking here. It's just, that guy read that pick six, but
Yeah, that was a tough one.
he should have been tackled somewhere near the 20.
He should have.
Yeah.
He should have. Now, last 2 plays we'll go over before we get to the comments. Keep shooting your comments in. This is the last drive, empty, which has been the only thing that's really worked for them this year.
Right.
Look at the defense again, double A gap show, mugging it with just one-on-ones everywhere. This is the completion underneath, but you start to see guys driving. They're driving hard. And this was right about the time I go, you might have a shot deep because they're really driving on the ball hard.
Right.
The next play where he misses Garrett will end the film with this play because this was the killer. And you know what? I haven't even watched this one yet, to be honest. So we'll see. Double move, 3-by-1. Oh, this wasn't it. I'm sorry. This was the slant. But being there, Wayne, what did you think of Aaron's performance overall?
No, I mean, he threw 3 picks and a pick 6, but like the last one, guy made a tremendous play. The one for the touchdown he read, but like if someone was asking if he, because he's hurt, leg or ankle that he can't drive the ball, he's pretty damn good at, throwing off the back foot and making the throws he needs to. I did think when he got bent over like that,
I thought it was over.
I thought it was really bad, and he limped off, and I was like, all right. The way he walked off, I was like, he got bent the wrong way and twisted, but it wasn't what we thought it might be.
Right.
But yeah, maybe it can affect him a little bit. The his footwork and stuff like that. But after that, he just slides the pocket, gives him time. But you can't the team they're playing is 5-0 for a reason. They didn't just
they have a good defense too.
Conjure up like a one game play their best. They're 5-0. Their defense is solid, and their quarterback's playing great.
Yeah, I mean they have a good defense too. It's shocking to some people.
Yeah.
No more film.
Yeah.
No more film. All right, comments. Let's get to some comments here. 900 of you watching. I don't know how many on YouTube, but if you're on YouTube, like the video, share it, do all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Here's the attitude to take. Greg Rallo with Ulbrich and Toe. Jets are in first place alone on Monday night. If they win, they'll be 3-3 with Buffalo with the tiebreaker. They had that tiebreaker, so they will indeed be in first place. That's all it takes, Wayne.
All right. Well, people are going to say, well, if they play like they did yesterday, there won't be. Well, listen, you can't keep dwelling on, you could dwell on 13 years, no playoffs. That you can.
Mm-hmm.
With this season, 5 games in, and we haven't played, if we beat the teams that we're against in the AFC to make it, we're going to be all right. But all we can say is, we win. If we play the way we can, it's a home game, it's Monday night, perfect opportunity to show everybody, because we're only a game in town, basically. Everybody's going to be watching, just to remind people why we're picked to be one of the teams to win the East and make the playoffs. Listen, it's not easy. It's not easy to be a Jet fan. What's interesting?
Mm-hmm.
I read that this is the 3rd time a head coach had been fired after a London game.
Wow.
Meaning, whatever happened during these London trips, I guess when you got an 8-10 hour plane ride home after a loss, your mind starts going a little bit.
Yeah.
And you really sit there and think about what am I doing? What are they doing? What can I do different? I mean, it's just a weird phenomenon, but that's a long ride home for the team and the players and staff and everybody. I was in Christopher Johnson's suite for the game, and it's tough. He's such a great guy, and I know him well, and obviously him and Woody want nothing more to win the Super Bowl. I know people always say, you know, sell the team to this
Eh,
and that. I'm never going to agree with that
That's
because
par for the course with owners in sports. You
yeah,
know that.
that's what it is. Any team that's losing whatnot, they're spending the money.
They're spending the money, and you know what's funny? The thing I can't take is the same old Jets chaos stuff. This
Right.
is the first time in Woody's tenure he's fired a coach in season
Yeah.
since
So
2000. The
right.
very first time. So let's calm down on that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, then people bring up the Reddick thing, Hassan Reddick, and
Yeah,
making this move. Why don't we have Devontae? One of this. Listen, we have a general manager. We have management. That's what he hired them for. You can't blame Woody for all that. Obviously, he might. If you write a big check, you know, he's going to write it. But
yeah.
you can't keep saying that about him. I mean, they want to win more than everybody, every Jet fan, every former player. And maybe I was like, hey, good for him. He's making a big move. Like he's shaking it up. Like, oh man, like everybody's got to get on the ball. This guy, they're not messing around this year.
Yeah.
It's like what Reddick is like, oh, give me this or I hold out. They're like, all right, hold out.
Yep.
And obviously we didn't count on Jermaine Johnson getting hurt.
John,
But
yeah, that's the
listen,
killer.
it's not all the moves are right, but
No, and
hopefully in
listen,
a couple weeks we're looking and we're like, all right, maybe Salah is one of the problems, not the biggest, but I don't know. Maybe this is what it takes to turn the season around.
here's a question: what changes if Hackett remains as the play caller? It's not. Listen, if you're not a Hackett fan, which I suspect most aren't, things can change. It's but people feel it's so split these days between offense and defense. There's offense, there's defense. That's it. One guy calls the offensive plays, one guy calls the defense. The head coach is the boss of the feel, the flow, the attitude of that week's game plan. And the OC and the DC have to fit within that game plan. And there have been a lot of signs that Salah's game plan is very conservative and very internalized. We do what we do. So if Ulbrich changes it, there are possibilities. I'm not saying it's perfect, but there are possibilities.
Here's a good take. And I didn't think about it this way, but it's a such a simple thing that might explain this firing for people who didn't want it or this and that. Brian Delaporte says, how can firing Salah hurt us in any way? It can't. It can only be better. It can't be worse. You know what I'm saying?
It's very true.
It's simple. What is going to be worse than having Salah, who is, so, not as experienced as Snap, not that Ulbrich is a head coach experience, but getting a guy like that who probably could have got a head coaching job somewhere,
Yeah, Ulbrich was hot. Yeah,
making him the head coach.
right.
That's the truest thing. How's it going to hurt us?
It
We're
won't.
going to lose. I mean, it's the same thing.
You're right.
It only can make us better.
You're right. The only possible way it could hurt is if it's so chaotic right away and they don't get the system down. But it's so far fetched. They're already chaotic before the move.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. It's a great point.
Yeah. Listen, they need a spark, and this defensive coordinator certainly can bring that. Different kind of spark than Coach Saleh. I don't know. I always found it weird to coaches that walk around looking at the plays, defense, offense, something. And it's just like, what are you there for? We don't need a cheerleader.
Not engaging with players is the tough thing. Like
Yeah,
even Belichick after the first drive he writes down the play and he goes over to his defense after the first drive every game.
Football is all sports. Football is all adjustments, like on the fly, a halftime, looking at films and stuff like that. What? Okay. Yeah, it's all about adjustments.
Yeah.
That's why Belichick's so good. That's why Andy Reid. I could go down the list of guys, but yeah. I mean, it's all about adjustments, and there's none being made. Listen, I don't know the whole Aaron Rodgers. I know Aaron Rodgers and Hackett are tight. I don't think Rodgers had anything to do with Saleh getting fired or the decision. Woody said it's all on him, and that's what it is. You know, like I said, a couple weeks we'd be like, all right, Woody, you did the right thing, and I hope we're there. But listen, every day, every week, after every game, we're going to question was this the right move or not.
Mhm.
The move that I won't,
Nunzio.
yeah, the move that I won't question is if they fire Hackett.
Agreed,
I
agreed.
don't care if we get shut out, and we're
Agreed,
all good players.
agreed. Nunzio, 108. No one thought the O-line was bad. Again, it's definitely coaching. Yeah, I mean, you look at the O-line, I get it. It takes time for the O-line to gel at times, but agreed. It is like you're Usain Bolt letting every other opponent get a 10-second head start. That's how I feel with the rushing game and the O-line right now. You just can't run it into a brick wall. You have to out Today's NFL is so much different than 20, 30 years ago. It's so much more about less physicality, more brain power, outthinking the other team. Like, look at Kevin O'Connell. The Jets made a 3-point lead. What did they do on the very next drive? He opens it up and lets Darnold start throwing downfield, and it worked. And they only got a field goal. Jets held tough in the red zone. But that's the sort of stuff you got to stay ahead of the opponent. I just don't think the Jets have done that in the Saleh regime.
No, there's steps ahead. Listen, all right, Coach Saleh and Aaron, they had the whole push hug thing, this and that.
Yeah.
But they brought him in, Rodgers, whatever they did. I'm thinking that Coach Albert is not going to give a shit how he feels if what it takes to win. You know what I mean? And like maybe Coach Saleh, relationship, coach, quarterback. I'm not thinking that Ulrich's going to be like, oh, I don't want to hurt his feelings, this and that. I think he's going to come in cracking skulls.
Yes, I agree.
And
He's that
anybody
type of.
who's not on the defensive side is going to be like, yeah, this is what we've been dealing with. This is why we're doing good. You know what
I
I
agree.
mean? I don't know. Yeah, they definitely let's hold Rodgers accountable. He had played back. Yeah, he's played average at best.
Yeah, he
Right.
hasn't been great. There's
Yeah.
no question about it. And I saw something else. O-line has to protect him. Yeah, they have to protect him, but the only way they're going to protect him at this point is to scheme it up better offensively and get the running game going. And you're only going to do that until your first 15 and first couple drives in the first quarter start making the defense pay. That's it. That's the only way.
Listen, I got news for you. Minnesota watched Denver.
Yes.
Bills are going to watch Minnesota. They're exposed. They found the weak spots and defense too. Part of them was exposed by Sam Darnold, and they couldn't get to the quarterback.
Yes.
Obviously, Justin Jefferson, tremendous. Suicide issues. Justin Jefferson brought 2 PIs. They could have called a lot of those last year too, but he has something to prove now too. DJ Reed's playing his ass off.
He really is, man. He's been the Jets' best corner this year.
Yeah.
There's no other way to say it, to be honest.
Yeah,
and I love Sauce.
Yeah, Sauce I like a lot. And just he's got to live up to the building.
Yep.
And he's not the self-proclaimed like he's not pounding his chest. He's not like that. People have said he's one of the best because of performance. No one's catching the ball on him, but they're starting to figure out a little bit. But I would like to see him travel with the number one.
This goes back to the mentality I'm talking about. We do what we do, and if we get it right, we'll beat anyone. That's the same mentality, being stubborn. Sauce, you're not traveling. You're left, Reed's right. The flexibility has to be there. And folks, we only have a couple minutes left, because I'll get your final comments in.
See, none just said that. Rick has a good relationship with players, but is also respected. I feel like Saleh might have just been liked, but not respected. I agree with that. Listen, Coach Saleh is going to get a defensive coordinator job somewhere and have a top 10 defense. That's probably what's going to happen. Or what defense, whatever he does, he's got a good football mind. But as far as a decision maker, time management and all these different things, it's game planning. It's not for him. It's some coaches is just like that. They go other places and they do better. Look at Todd Bowles. Look at what I mean.
Yeah. And on top of that, any DC who runs through San Francisco under Shanahan does well.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. AJ, final question. It's not play calling or game planning. It's offensive design. I mean, I agree. Offensive design is definitely a big part of it. The uncreative, non-adaptable design is Hackett and Keith Carter and Rodgers. Saleh was not in charge of that. Neither will Ulbrich.
I get
Wrong.
that. Yeah.
I get it, but it's wrong. The head coach is in charge of everything. And
Yeah.
here's the thing that I question. The defense also gets off to slow starts, folks.
Yeah.
Let's not be blind to that.
They get gas.
In the Saleh regime, the defense also gets off to slow starts. And I have commended Ulbrich for making great halftime adjustments. And I think same could be said for London. The Vikings offense tore them up, even on the ground, until Aaron Jones got hurt.
They're a good bend, but don't break. They'll give up field goals, so
True.
they get a little stronger. But listen, if I'm the head coach, I know he's not calling the plays over. I'm hoping Downing is that, if that's what they said, if that's his name or not. But if I'm the head coach, I come out like, let's just get after him right away.
Yeah, me
let's
too.
take shots. Let's jam it down their throat. Let's splits. Let's just do some shit to just get them on the heels to think about it. That first drive, be like, I don't know what's coming. We game plan for them, and they weren't doing this. We game plan for that, and they're not doing that. Just
New England, their last win. What did they do? They came out passing, and they failed on the first drive, but because of a penalty, and then they shoved it down their throats. They came out passing against New England and blitzed, and it stunned them. It stunned New England. They didn't know what to do.
Dude, shake it up.
Shake
it up, and I mean that's what Woody did today, and I'm behind it because, like that dude said, how does it hurt us in any way? He's not going somewhere else. That's gonna it can get better. Like, I don't care if you're losing by 1 or 30. You start winning games, it's for the better. And get ready to hack it. Let's go Jets.
Let's go. Last question, and this one comes up often. And would Chrebet consider coaching someday? I know the answer, I think, but I got to torture him again with the question.
I wish, man. I wish I can get in there and coach. But it's not in my DNA. I've never been a coach. I think I would want to be in management. I always wanted that. I think I could judge talent pretty well. But
scouting, what would you like to do? Like the scouting department or something contract, something salary?
I don't know, all that stuff. I like all that stuff, behind the scenes stuff. Putting a team together. Eagle fan. Hey, yeah, Hurricane Milton's coming. For everybody who's down, I know a lot of Jet fans down in Florida, man. Just buckle up, man. I know it's gonna be a rough one. Praying for you, family, everything. So we're definitely thinking about that. I know, Vinny's down in Tampa, a lot of people down in Tampa. So praying for the best, and hopefully we'll get through the week. That's good, and then win on Monday night. I'll be there.
Agreed. All right, Wayne, Jets fans, we will see you hopefully after a win next Monday night. Catch you later.
Yep.